Want to say, first of all, good evening to everybody that clicked onto this video. My name is Ilya Davis. I'm the owner of Anytime Plumbing here in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm the founder of the Young Economics Awareness Program. The Young Economics Awareness Program is a program that I've been working on for 10 years, and I wanted to start off by saying thank you for those that have clicked and liked and shared the previous videos that I've done. And all of the material that has been done on that page is 5 years old or older. Even so, the Young Economics Awareness Program page already, the concept I'm getting ready to give you, it already has almost 6,000 likes and 3,000 shares, even though they've taken down one of the videos. The reason why the Young Economics Awareness Program is important, and the other part of it is that I wanted to welcome those that, because we're running videos from this idea on Channel 12 and the CW channel. So I want to thank those that have clicked on this, that have come from because they saw the commercials that's running on Channel 12 and the CW channel. And I don't want to waste your time, so this video is going to be kind of long, but in the first 4 or 5 minutes, I'm going to explain exactly or prove, because in that commercial, I say two things in that commercial. I say, number one, that it's an invitation, actually. It says that let's stop the crime and create hundreds of jobs with community-owned businesses in low-income areas. So I'm going to say that again. The commercial says, I invite you, I said, let's stop the crime and create hundreds of jobs in low-income areas. So I want to be able to deal with those first two parts in an elevator spiel, more or less, in the first 4 or 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go into speaking about other things that show the practical applications of this idea, the relativity to all of us, no matter whether you're white, black, brown, and how important this program is when it comes to stopping the crime from petty crime all the way up to murder in low-income areas. And this idea isn't just really good for here in Richmond, Virginia, but it's good nationally. So this is the concept, is that I believe in one-time financing, self-sustaining economic ideas. I'm going to say that twice. I believe in one-time financing, self-sustaining economic ideas, and all that means is that it's an economic relative to a business idea, number one, and it's an idea that you can put the money up one time and it self-sustains itself. It creates jobs and self-sustains itself on its own. So, and I believe that prevention is better than the cure, and this is what this idea is about. It's about prevention, because I already know how expensive the cure is and how it affects all of us as taxpayers. Just for an example, from my study, I found that for every murder that's committed, it costs the city in the investigation, prosecution, and incarceration anywhere from $200,000 to $1 million or $2 million for each one of them. But this idea just states this plainly, is that since in low-income areas, everybody has cell phones, everybody in every low-income areas, I think it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned cooperative cell phone shop. It creates jobs immediately that they can walk to from those areas with this one-time financing idea. And through cooperative economics, all that means is that the profits don't go to you, don't come to me. It goes for all of the necessary programs. And that's what this idea more or less states, is that in creating jobs, then automatically we employ the people from that area. And just with a cell phone shop, just think about how many jobs that creates. But it creates jobs for people in that area. Number one, that they can walk to, and number two, all of the profits goes for the necessary programs, after school, elderly, homeless, whatever programs that are necessary. But I go further with that. We start with the cell phone, but in low-income areas, they have cars. It makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned cooperative insurance company. They get taxes done in low-income areas. It makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned cooperative tax preparation. And just think about it, Rent-A-Center. I grew up in low-income areas. I grew up in Wookham Court, and right where I live in Wookham Court on Mechanicsville Turnpike, in between Cool Lane and Martin Luther King's Bridge, that's right where Mosby School is. I believe that's about 14 blocks, but there's 11 convenience stores. I think it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned cooperative convenience store. I think it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing to do a community-owned cooperative used cars, Rent-A-Center, hotels and motels. All those are one-time financing, self-sustaining economic ideas that will create hundreds of jobs and be able to redirect millions to be able to fund every program, every idea, not just fund every program and every idea, but as I stated in the beginning, I own a plumbing company. There's about 100 of us that's involved with this right now. And within that 100, we have, just like our own plumbing, we have somebody that owns an electrical company. We have HVAC guys. We have construction guys. So relative to this program is that it's about generating those one-time financings to be able to redirect those funds, and we have the human capital that's necessary to be, that if we have to buy raw land and be able to get the permits that's necessary, and that'll be a part of the training for those low-income areas also, that we'll be able to buy land or buildings that renovate, but we'll be able to buy land and be able to build buildings up relative to all of the necessary programs that's necessary, and it will be economically based also. You know, we're gonna deal with the economic part, but I think even when it comes to the beauty supply, we are people that spend 8 times more than any other nationality on hair care products, but we don't have one beauty supply store. So that's the basis of what I'm stating by creating hundreds of jobs in low-income areas with one-time financing, self-sustaining economic ideas, with all of the businesses going on where they can be able to walk to them. And then let me bring the practical, if I can, the practical application relativity to us as a people, as RVA, as Richmond, Virginia. So let me give you this. Because I stayed up last night, and I'm telling you, this is the hardest thing for me. This is the most important and the hardest video that I've ever done. I've been procrastinating to some degree, but it's not a procrastination. It's to be able to allow, because the videos that I've done before this, if you go to that page, do not be disheartened by the passion that I had back then relative to the idea, because I've been on this and I've been depressed about this idea, you know, with different things that I've tried to accomplish relative to bring this idea, but to be able to, so with those videos, don't get disheartened, even the YouTube videos under the Young Economics Awareness Program on YouTube. Don't get disheartened about the passion that I have, but I've harnessed that passion because I have to be able to deliver this in a way that, that we're able to really understand it. So I'm holding my passion. So, but understand this, is that the reason why this program is important is because I know within my heart of heart that everybody that's listening to this and everybody in RVA is looking or either praying for some type of answer with the stuff that's going on with the crime in RVA. The crime when it comes to the murders, that has gone up 20% since, I think they said since 2019. So I want to say this, and this is the practical part of it, is that everybody that has a heart is either looking or either praying that something can be able to happen to change the things that's going on with the crimes all the way up to the murder. And let me explain that, what I'm talking about. Whenever something happens bad in the low-income areas, for an example, the news people, they go out to look and film. They're looking at what's going on, and they're asking, different questions about what happened and what can be done to be able to solve that, but they're actually looking at it, and then they run it on TV for us to look at it. But the thing is this, most of us not only look at it, but we pray. Those that have a good heart, I know we pray that it's something that can be done to be able to change the outcome when it comes to low-income areas. And that's why this program is important. That's the relativity in this. The other thing, because the other thing is this, is that when stuff happens, we as individuals, we go out and look. But it's another way that of looking at the word look that's harmonistic, that says that those that have influence or have a heart to be able to make a change, those that are in political positions, those that have the resources to be able to, to help make, that are doing things already, and have resources, they're looking for, not just looking at it and praying about it because it's disheartening, but they're also looking for a way to be able to solve it. Because they do already have nonprofits and foundations, but they're trying to help in the way that they can, to whatever degree that they are. And I believe in rewarding all measures of good, no matter who you are. So the thing is this, even the Mayor Stoney, I know that he looks and he's seeing, because he has an initiative that he's starting right at this moment, that he's talking about an initiative to try to stop the crime in low-income areas. But my point is this, I want to say that he has an initiative, but my point is this, is that he's looking, and I know that in his heart he's praying for some type of way to be able to change it. Just like, for an example, all of the entertainers, sports stars, and musicians. And that's a key part of this program. That if you one that have been praying to some degree on how to be able to make a change because you're disheartened about the things that have happened, if you're already in the process because you're exacting or initiating programs to be able to help those areas, then understand that this concept of one-time financing, self-sustaining, because not only are we looking for a way to be able to help low-income areas and the crime and the things that's going on, but how much better is it to be able to effectuate a change in those areas, and with a program that's not about pointing the finger. The Young Economics Awareness Program isn't about pointing his finger at the government, the police, the white man, or in this idea, this concept is about pointing his finger at one-time finance and self-sustaining economic ideas to create economic hope and ownership for the young people in that area. And understand that I'm just in the place as a spokesperson for this idea, but this idea is called the Young Economics Awareness Program for a reason. It's about establishing the structure that's necessary to set it up for them to do for themselves. So let me go straight into the goal. We have long-term goal and we have a short-term goal when it comes to the Young Economics Awareness Program. So all of those, first I want to say this, is that all of those that have been praying and have been looking or been trying to figure out some type of way to be able to help those low-income areas, all I want you to do is please consider the Young Economics Awareness Program about one-time finance and self-sustaining ideas, and then understand that this is a $1.5 trillion idea. That's the amount of money that African Americans spend every year that circulates our community from anywhere from 0 to 1 time. And in my humble opinion, I believe that everything from the lower crime all the way up to murder that's going on in low-income areas from here to Chicago to New York, Philadelphia, I don't care where it is. In my opinion and in my study, I believe that all of those are symptoms from an economic cancer when it comes to African American people. We become a people that are consumers mainly and employees in a way that's proven without trying to beat a dead horse, because that's the other thing. This program isn't about pointing his finger at not only the white man, the police, the government, but at young people, at anything. This program isn't about pointing his finger at anything. I don't care what it is. This is not a complaining program. It's about pointing his finger at the money that already exists in low-income areas and believing in one-time finance and self-sustaining economic ideas. So one of the things that we're going to do, I'm going to go straight into the long-term and the short-term goals. The long-term, and I'm telling you, I believe in reaching for the stars. And when it comes to those that have been looking and praying for an answer, like I said, there's entertainers, sports stars, and musicians that have that type of heart, that's looking for some type of way, from LeBron to Jay-Z to Meek Mills to the governor to Mayor Stoney. All of them are looking for some type of way to be able to help low-income areas. But when we look at the upper echelon of the African Americans, which are mainly entertainers, sports stars, and musicians, the whole concept, if you read the one-page document that's on the Young Economics Awareness Program page, it's about connecting young people to low-income areas that are suffering with the businesses that already exist. Like I said, one-time finance and self-sustaining economic ideas, with young people that have suffered, but now they're multimillionaires. Those are the entertainers, sports stars, and musicians that already have foundations and nonprofits in their communities. And understand, I don't want one dime from this idea. I want this idea to be able to get to those entertainers, sports stars, musicians, so they can be able to institute them in their nonprofits in the cities or states that they deem appropriate, to make it national. And that's been the whole idea. So understand, goal number one, and I've been on this for 10 years. There's no way I'm going to have small goals. But with the people that's potentially involved with this, for me to make this first goal, I mean, you might think it's big, but I don't. That we're going to raise these commercials start, and they're going to run on the CW channel and channel 12. It's going to be all together 10 times a day for the next 30 days, starting this Friday or Saturday. However, our goal is that once those commercials start this weekend, that within 30 days, we're going to raise $1 million. I'm going to say that twice. That because the thing is this, if everybody does a little bit because they have a concern relative to what they've been seeing and what they've been praying, because understand this part, is that the crime that's going on, the murders that's going on, and I'm telling you, my nephew was murdered. But the crime and the murder that's going on that I'm seeing every day, almost at least every weekend that I'm seeing every day, the crime is based on, like I said, the way to turn it around immediately is about creating economic hope and ownership in those areas. But this is the thing, because we might not think that it affects us, but I know one thing relative to the African American community is that we can ask 5 questions, and I don't care where they're asked. It could be asked at a meeting, at the city hall. It could be asked at any church, any mosque, any synagogue, or wherever African Americans gather. That's how important this is. Because even though you might not be in my shoes, but like my nephew got murdered, you have sons, nephews, grandsons, and cousins that potentially could be, God forbid. And not only that, the thing is this, is that if 5 questions are asked in any institution relative to African Americans, I guarantee you that if you say, if 1 applied, raise 1 hand, 2, raise 2, if 3, raise your leg up, 4 or 5 hits you, get up and do the do-si-do. And the 5 questions will be this, is that how many people that's in this congregation, no matter where it is, has a son, daughter, nephew, or grandson that's incarcerated? Raise your hand. Question number 2, how many people has a son, daughter, nephew, or grandson that's on probation or parole? Raise your hand. How many people has a son, daughter, nephew, grandson, cousin that don't have a GED? Raise your hand. How many has a son, daughter, nephew, or grandson that's murdered, that has been murdered? Raise your hand. And question number 5 will be, How many people has a son, daughter, nephew, or grandson that's unemployed, that's looking for a job? And I'm telling you, we can't, and let me tell you another part about this idea. That's why I said this idea isn't about pointing, especially at our young people, because I believe in the scripture that says that you can tell the tree by the fruit it bears. I'm going to say that twice. The scripture says that you can tell the tree by the fruit it bears, because a good tree is going to bear good fruit. And that's why there's no way that I can point, even though I don't have biological children, but there's no way that I can point a finger at young people, because I know, and I can show anyone, anybody that want to come, and if I got time to waste for a complaint of something pointing their finger at, I don't care who it is, that if I had time to deal with it, I can clearly show you 3 fingers pointing back at you. And that's the same thing with me. That with every finger I point out, I see 3 pointing back at me. So going back to that scripture, you can tell the tree by the fruit it bears. A good tree is going to bear good fruit. That indicates that the responsibility of our young people, that their responsibility, them coming from our loins, if a good tree will bear good fruit, and that you can tell the tree by the fruit it bears, and the fruit are rotten, that's an indictment on the tree. That's an indictment. If our young people are wayward, that's an indictment on us as a people. So that's one of the reasons why I do not point my finger. I don't care what it is. And if you want to change the character, the conduct, the language, I don't care if it's in rap music or whatever it is, create hope in those areas. Then the lyrics and the conduct starts to change, especially when we're talking about economic hope. The beauty supply, I got to go back to it. We spend 8 times more than any other nationality on hair care products. We tell our young people about going to get jobs, but if we Google it, 1 out of 2 African-American males with degrees are unemployed. We're in a position now where 1 out of 2 African-American males are being arrested by age 23. That's what we're headed to. I mean, that's where we are. That's not where we're headed to, but that's where we are. And those are the things that, with dealing with the economic part, because the thing that I don't think the word change is a homonym for nothing. Change is one way of defining it is change in character and conduct. But because you can't have any idea, you can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't have the finances to make it real, guess what? It's just a good idea. In order to bring about change and initiate whatever idea you have, you got to be able to get the money somewhere. But to tie the change into the change relative to the businesses that already exist in those areas. So everybody can help. Everybody should help. So I believe this, and I'm telling you, I've been on this for 10, 11, 12 years, and now I'm able to get those commercials out. I think, I'm telling you, this is the best time of my life. God has given me, it hasn't been one thing that I put in my heart of good that I've worked on and talked about on a daily basis, that by God's grace that it wasn't brought into fruition. And this is one that I've been on for 10, but I'm not in control of the circumstances and events that prepares us to be able to accept something that, if this doesn't make sense, it's not one person. I know. And we have a responsibility of making this real, of helping. If everybody does a little bit, I won't have to do a whole lot. So, number one, let me go back to it, because I don't want to mention some big goal that I believe without having a plan of action also. So, the big goal is to raise $1 million within 30 days of these commercials starting. It might not be all in cash money. It might be land, it might be building, it might be use, it might be even prayers. Writing a letter to Channel 12 News, or to the mayor, to the governor, or getting this idea to the any entertainer, sports star, or musician that you know of, just for them to examine it. That's worth it. So the million isn't going to be all in cash money, but it's so many things that we can do to be able. So If you believe in community-owned businesses as being a proactive way to be able to deal with and creating hope and redirecting millions of dollars, then understand this. I want to leave with this, a saying that, number one, I would say this, and that's why I say about $1 million, is that I believe that you're only limited by your imagination. And when you argue limitations, that they'll be yours. That's number one. But number two, let me tell you a story. I'll just leave with a story. And the story is this, is that somebody told me, he said about a young warrior came up to a wise man and said, with his hands closed like this, he said, I have a bird in my hand. He said, you're so wise. He said, I have a bird in my hand. Tell me if it's living or dead. And the wise man, he thought for a minute, and he told the young warrior, he said that if I tell you that it's alive, you're going to crush it in your hand and show me that it's dead. But if I tell you that it's dead, you're going to open up your hands and let it fly away. But this is the kicker. He said that you have the power of life and death in your hands. I'm going to say that twice. He told the young boy, he said, you have the power of life and death in your hands. And I believe that relative to this concept and idea. Like I said, if you've been looking and praying and you think this makes sense, it's enough room for everybody to be able to do a little bit. So won't no one person have to do a whole lot when it comes to raising that $1 million. But this is number two. This is the plan of action for my birthday. I want to do this for my birthday. My birthday is September the 16th. I want to do it, and that's on a Thursday. I want to get it done on that weekend, but the group of people, that's the executive group that's a part of this, I told them when I do this video, I don't want to put them under too much pressure. So we're going to do it either on my birthday, but this is a birthday gift that I want to give to the community that I grew up in, is that for my birthday, either the 16th of September or either the 23rd, the weekend of the 23rd of September, we're going to do something over, and I've already established an account for the Young Economics Awareness Program, and we have a Cash App for the Young Economics Awareness Program. But this is the idea, is that it's a place that I go on, Virginia Beach. It's right at the end of Virginia Beach and Hampton, because it's just amazing. It's called the Grand Market, I think it is, the Grand Market. But they have an enormous amount of the freshest lake trout that I ever tasted. It reminds me of the 88, 89, growing up in Wookham at the socials, getting those fish sandwiches, with them greens and them potato salad. It reminds me of that. But this is the idea, is that we're going to rent a box truck, and we already have that account. I donated the first $5,000 in that account. That account has $5,000 and a little bit more, because a couple people have already donated. But I've donated the first $5,000 to raise $1 million. And look, let me tell you how simple it is. So 5,000 times 199 people that put up 5,000, that's $1 million right there. But I just want to throw that out there. But with the people that I'm talking about, LeBron James, Jay-Z, all of the individuals, all of those entertainers, they're looking for, like I said, those are the ones that's looking. Not only are they praying, but they're looking for an idea. And once we can be able to get any of the entertainers, sports stars, and musicians to be able to put it on their Instagram page or either tweet it, this idea will go viral. I guarantee you that. Because everybody is looking for a way. And this way isn't about pointing his finger, isn't about having to beg for money. It's about being able to have one time, let me go back. This program isn't about having to beg for money every year or beg for grants every year, because these are one-time financing, self-sustaining economic ideas. You just got to put the money up one time. So in the interim of us raising that $1 million, going back to what I'm saying, we're going to rent, or we're going, it's not me, it's never I. We're going to the Grand Market at Virginia Beach, right at the corner of Virginia Beach and Hampton, with a refrigerated truck, and we're going to buy 1,500 pieces of lake trout. We're going to go to the restaurant depot here, because I got the restaurant depot card, And we're going to get the 50-pound bags of potatoes, onions, carrots, might get some celery in there, and some head of cabbage or some squash and zucchini. And what I want to do, what I want to contribute for my birthday this year, I'm going to spend on my birthday, that I want us to be able to start with Wookham Court and go over to Wookham Court, and we're going to give some heads up that anybody that want to already have their grills out, you get plenty of heads up, that we're going to supply chicken, hamburgers, and hot dogs to them. Whoever got their grills out, we're going to make sure they get chicken, hamburgers, and hot dogs. But we're going to go door to door. We're going to get the plastic bags for the fish and the paper bags for the potatoes, onions, carrots, stuff that we're going to give out. And we're going to go door to door and give everybody a bag of fish and a bag of vegetables. We're going to go to every door and knock on it and give them a bag of fish. Every door in Wookham Court. We're going to start in Wookham Court, but we're going to do the same thing in Gilpin Court, Fairfield Court, Creighton Court, Southside. We're going to hit, because this is about creating awareness. I'm telling you, I've been on this for 10 years, and it's already, like I said, it's 6,000 people that have liked videos, even though they've taken down one of the videos, and over 3,000 shares. But this is about creating an awareness also again, because it's been 5 years to be able to get back to this point, to be able to launch this idea the way that I am. So we're going to go to those low-income areas. We're going to start off in Wookham and give out fish, and then understand this. It's a metaphor, the reason why we're going to do fresh fish. Because it's one thing about giving somebody a fish, but this program and the idea is about us as a community, especially in low-income areas, being able to fish for ourselves relative to a community-owned cooperative fish market, convenience store, tax preparation, insurance company, rent-a-son. We could be able to go to Walmart or to Hanes and be able to buy furniture and TVs and do a community-owned cooperative rent-a-son. It won't be as bad if you get behind a little bit, because we family. We're family. And the last thing that I want to say is this. So so we have a short-term goal, is that by September the 16th or the 23rd, we're going to get a refrigerated truck, and it's about 100 of us that is involved. And please, this program isn't about black, white, brown, it isn't about any of that. It ain't about the police. It's not about that. So all of those that want to participate or help, please contact me. You can text me at 804-252-5630. I'm going to say that twice. That's the Young Economics Awareness Program phone. You can text me at 804-252-5630 to be able to contact me. And also the Cash App is this, is that if you want to give, and this is how we're going to, it's 5 executive, and we're waiting, because once this structure gets done, we're going to make sure that we bring 10 young people, probably a couple of young people, because this is about the young. It's about structuring them to be able to do this. So we're structuring it now, but it's about getting young people. So I just want to say that, to be able to speak for themselves. But the individual that's involved with the accounts that we have, or the account for the Young Economics Awareness Program, that what we're going to do is at least once a week. We're going to do maybe twice a week. But everybody that donates to that site, you're going to see the 5,000 that I put in, plus a couple other people that put in. You're going to see that. And we're going to do a list every week of everybody that gives to that Cash App. And when it comes to us spending money to be able to, for these events that we're going to do, we're going to also post every receipt. I guarantee. And listen, understand this, is that I own the #1 emergency plumbing company in Richmond, Virginia. And if I'm lying relative to the stuff, or if I'm playing, I'm not just putting my personal reputation on the line as a man, but I'm putting my business. That's how serious this is. So I'm telling you, there's going to be checks and balances. I'm going to make sure of that, because my reputation is on the line relative to what we're doing. And really my life is on the line, for those that understand. But I mean, that's what we're going to do. We're going over there in those areas. We're going to do one at a time. And the Cash App is this. Let me give you the Cash App. The Young Economics Awareness Program is called the YEP. I call it YEP. Some people say YEP. I call it the YEP program, but it's YEAPSTK. $, the Cash App for the Young Economics Awareness Program is $YEAPSTK. And the STK stands for, so maybe you'll be able to remember better, the STK stands for Stop the Killing. It's YEAPSTK. And everybody, like I said, you can leave a note, your name, when you make that donation, you can leave a note, name, and I'm telling you, we're going to log everybody that makes a donation is going to be logged, and we're going to show the Cash App transactions to show exactly what came in every week until we get to where we want to go. So, I mean, this video was hard, but I'm glad I was able to get through it. I appreciate all of those that have listened. I appreciate all of those that have liked the videos from times past. Understand that this program is bigger than me. That, you know, like I said, it's been times past that my videos, if you look at the ones before this one, because that's the passion that I have. That's the passion that I have about this. But I understand that all of us, from the governor to the mayor, to those that have programs, that all of us can. All of us are looking relative to being able to initiate something, to be able to change things. And all of us are praying for something to come, to make things better for those areas. So understanding that this, like I said, this program ain't about pointing his finger. And if you catch me pointing my finger, then I'm telling you, like I said, the videos before this were very passionate. I said the things that was on my heart. Because I've been on this for a while, and this is dear to me. This is my life. And I'll just add a little bit more to it is because the reason why I have the compassion that I have for those areas is because, like I mentioned in the beginning, I grew up in Wickham Court. I lived in Creighton Court for a while, but I grew up in Wickham Court. And not only did I grow up in Wickham Court, was able to, but also I went to federal prison for 13 years. So if you want to know the relativity that I have as an individual resident of Richmond, Virginia, relative to the connection that I already have of me understanding, because I live the things that they've lived. I've done the things and paid the price. I've been home now for 20 years and haven't even got a traffic ticket. But and the other thing is this, I learned plumbing in federal prison. So when it comes to business, I learned it in federal prison. Never worked for a plumbing company in my life. I came home and started a home improvement company that specialized in maintenance and repair and plumbing. And I don't say it as self-aggrandizement. I say it as the truth. Is that I come home after being gone for 13 years. I come home October the 7th, 2003, which is a date that's dear to me. October the 7th, 2003, under federal supervision, working a job and started my plumbing, which it was a home improvement company that specialized in plumbing. And by God's grace, by 2008, I was doing $800,000 a year. But the other part of it is this goes back to the necessity of the program is that back then and now, 98% of my clients are Caucasians. That's how I'm able to do the volume. Because we become, and I just don't want to get into that in this video, but African Americans, and I just repeat this, is that all of the crime that's going on in low-income areas, those are ailments, all the way up to the murders that's going on. Our cancer, once we deal with our cancer part, the ailments will start to subside. Our cancer is economics. We become a people, like I said, we don't have one grocery store, we don't have one bank, we are not involved in business, economics, and commerce as we should. And that's why this is called a program. That we have to be programmed, just in my opinion, my humble opinion, don't take offense. Please don't point the finger at me to try to negate everything or the specific things that I said. If you believe that it makes sense to come up with the one-time financing and do a community-owned cell phone shop, if you believe that that makes sense, to be able to create jobs that they can walk to in those areas, to be able to redirect the profits from the cell phone, tax benefits, so many one-time financing ideas. And to be able to get the entertainers, sports stars, and musicians, any one of them, to come to our grand opening, or to be able to just get them this idea that the whole city will come out, because it just makes sense. So I pray that, because I prayed and I've looked, and I've been looking for, this is my first rodeo relative to a nonprofit or a not-for-profit idea. I've done 2 other ones. This property that I stay in, that we stay in, I bought it for a residential training program before the economy failed. I had a nonprofit club, and that I thought I could be able to redirect the money that the 30 plus I already spent going out, to be able to redirect it, to be able to benefit the programs that we did on another side of the building. But through my study, that once I looked at the amount that we spend overall, the 1.5 trillion, and that it circulates our community 0.1 time. With the little time that the Latinos have been here, it circulates their community 5 times. It circulates the Asians community 9 times. Then the Caucasian people, their money circulates like 3 weeks before needed. But just understand is that African Americans are the only group of people that spend almost 99.9% of their gross revenue to other nationalities of people, especially in low-income areas. That's going to say that other nationalities of people, especially in low-income areas. But our money don't circulate at all. We're not involved in business. We're the only group of people that exist in America that I know of that don't have a grocery store, don't have a bank, nowhere. I mean, it's a couple of them, no, not nowhere. As a people, we don't. It's a couple of them. I think it's one in Atlanta, but here in Richmond, Virginia, and most of the states in America, we do not have a bank. We do not have a supermarket. So if we have 1 or 2, we don't have multiple as other groups of people do. We're the only group of people that look for, that we're mainly consumers and employees. And that has to change. That's our that's our cancer. Our cancer is economics. And in focusing on that part first, it funds every program, not just fund your program, or whatever problem that you can come out, point out, or complaint, or conspiracy, this and that, that not only will we be able to fund, not conspiracy stuff, but I'm just saying, people talk about, different conspiracy theories and this and that, but they don't really get us anywhere. But relative to the programs that you have, initiatives that people have, we're talking about not just generating the money to be able to fund it, but we're talking about also having the human capital in place relative to building, to be able to build buildings, to be able to facilitate your programs where you don't have to be outside selling cell phones. We don't have to be outside with the, not saying that it's bad, because I believe in the law of necessity is the mother of invention. Do the best you can. But all I'm saying is that my heart is to be able to put you in a building. That's what my heart is. Keep going, keep hustling. Don't stop grinding. But my heart is not only to help you fund what you're doing, whether it's on the business side, whether it's on the community improvement side, whatever area it is, that my job is to be able to raise the funds and be able to not just fund it, but be able to, we're going to be able to build buildings. We have the human capital to be able to buy land and build buildings to facilitate your program. Whether it's after school programs, I'm telling you, we have nurses that's involved with this idea, that, healthcare programs we'll be able to offer, anything that you can think of. Put them in the bucket, please. And let's concentrate on raising the awareness in those areas and let them know that we can, we love, and we got something. And the people that work in court, just understand us. Like I say, I've been on this for 10 years. And I'm going to start posting some of the photos of me in Church Hill, signing people up for the Young Economics Awareness Program. This was like 6-7 years ago. We already have in those low-income areas, the Anderson Apartments, 25th Street, Gilpin Court, Wookham Court, the Bus Depot. We've been talking to people, to thousands of people about this program. We got like 500 people that's already signed up. We had people going out signing people up. There's a lot of people that are involved and that's looking for hope. They're praying too. The people there in the city jail, they're praying too. They're looking at the news and the bad stuff, and they're praying that when they come out, that there's some hope for them. Antoinette Irvin, I know she's praying. And she's looking. But I say this, allow me to go down to the city jail and talk to them about community-owned cooperative economics and creating jobs, having jobs for them when they come out. Allow me to go into the institutions. I did 13 years in them. Allow me in. Allow me to talk to them. Allow me to talk to those. It costs much less, the prevention part of what we're talking about. It costs much less than the cure for us to wait for somebody else to get and having another visual. And it costs much less for a community-owned cell phone shop. And watch the hope and the change in the people. Community-owned convenience store. It makes sense. Community-owned tax preparation. It makes sense. Community-owned insurance company. It makes sense. Fish market. It makes sense. Hotels and motels in low-income areas. One-time financing idea. It makes sense. Everything that's going on in low-income areas in particular is called a program because, in my opinion, and like I said, I discussed it on another video, is that we have to be reprogrammed when it comes to us as African Americans. That's why we should take the lead on this. I know everybody want to help. That's been looking and praying together. But we have to take the lead on this. And then that's the thing, is that we have a lot of YouTube channels. And I'm going to do some on YouTube also. But we have a lot of people that have YouTube channels that's complaining and reporting bad news and complaining about men complaining about women, when we don't offer a solution. And for all of those complaints, whatever side is on, it's about creating institutions where we can be able to, because most of the time they say, oh yeah, we need counseling. We do. We need counseling as a people. When it comes to relationships, a lot of things. The trauma, young people, a lot of things. Mental health, we need counseling. But I don't want to just point my finger and say, yeah, you need counseling. I want to be the one that establishes an institution, that raises the money, that establishes an institution, that we can say down this hallway in room 102. That's in 104, 106, and 108. Those are all counseling. Go in and say that if you want to learn trades, that's on the downstairs. We got lecture there. We have stuff. Half of this, and then understand, is that half of the programs that we're going to do is going to be for men and young people. I mean, it's going to deal with the male side of us, and the other half is going to deal with the female things that we're going to deal with. So please do not make this program about me, because it's not about me. I don't want anything. I've used my money for the whole 10 years. And I'm donating. I'm still going to donate for those that call for the plumbing, on the plumbing side. I'm donating. I'm going to put up some more money. But I'm asking all of those to help. If you got $1, $2, I don't beg either. And I'm telling you, I would not beg for money, knowing that, that my reputation is on the line, that this money isn't going to go exactly where it's supposed to go. I'm telling you. So, I mean, that's where I'm at. And if everybody does a little bit, I don't care who you are, even if it's making copies of the document that's on the Young Economics Awareness Program page, that one-page document. We need copies of that. And if you think relative to, because you're praying and you've been looking, if you think long enough, then you could be able to just hit me, 804-252-5630, and let me know how you can help. Let me know how you can help. You know what we're getting ready to do. We want to raise $1 million. That's our goal within 30 days. That's number one. But our immediate goal, we're going to do something that makes sense right now. We're not going to sit back and wait on $1 million before we do anything. We are not going to sit on our hands. We're going to bring awareness, and we're going to help those areas immediately. So like I said, it's 16th to the 23rd relative to us doing the Give a Fish. But our whole idea is that we ready to fish for ourselves now. And we woke up just like, and that's the thing, young people with the marches after George Floyd was murdered, with the marches that pursued after that, it woke us up to a lot of things. It woke us up to a lot of institutional stuff that was going on. And just let me go to the point. It woke us up to that. It woke us up to the statutes. Not saying that. All I'm saying, and I ain't saying, I don't want to offend anybody that might love a statue, but that's not my point. My point is this, is that just like we woke up to those things, then we got a Juneteenth holiday, that we must wake up to the economic part. When I studied the word economics, when I studied the word culture, and when I studied that, it indicated culture for any group of people as having four main parts. And they indicated those four main parts as being four legs on a chair. And that messed me up. Because you can't have a three-legged chair or a two-legged chair. But it says that the four main parts is family, religion, education, and the fourth part was economics. It said that every group of people has those four legs: family, religion, education, and economics. But we got the three parts of it. We got family, religion, and education that's developed. But the economic part, we're the only culture that are not. And the way that I prove that without a doubt or contradiction is that Google it. We spend $1.5 trillion every year. It circulates our community less than 0.1 time. And other nationalities and people, I know, when I say that to them, they don't believe it. They're like, what? Y'all don't have a grocery store? We had one. Brother Johnny, he had some, and I heard that Johnny, he's doing Johnny on the spot now. I can't think of his last name, but that he did win his case. That he was more or less forced out. But I did read an article that said that he's planning on opening up grocery stores again. Johnny, I can't think of his last name, but you know what I'm talking about. He has Johnny on the spot since he closed down the Community Pride. He had Community Pride. He had 3 or 4 of them here. So there's a lot of parts. Those that listen to this broadcast, more or less, that I hope you share it. And that's why it got so frustrating. That's why I want to be. I share my plumbing company on Channel 12. And like I said, the sponsor's been amazing. And that's why I wanted to share the Young Economics Awareness Program on Channel 12 and the CW, because it's going to be amazing. But I'm asking for everybody to share. Share and contact. Call somebody. Call your nieces and your nephews. Everybody has like I said, everybody has a niece, nephew, grandson, or cousin that you wish could be able to have them come. Have them come. When we have our events, let them know this program is for them. Have them come. Have them link up with me, with what we're doing. Because this is about empowering those specifically in low-income areas. So I appreciate everybody for listening. And I pray that, like I said, if everybody does a little bit, that one person have to do a whole lot, that whatever you can be able to help with, go to, the Cash App is $, YEAP, YEAPSTK. and it's YEAP, YEAPSTK, and that stands for the Young Economics Awareness Program, and STK stands for Stop the Killing. I appreciate you. Thank you, and have a good night.